Um, Hi, I'm Shweta Mathur. I'm part of the Empower project through the Janya collective situation. For example, when we start talking about, water, or we start talking about sanitation in general, from the word go, we have a list of problems that crop up. Well, we don't have water supply, water is bad, quality is not good. But the minute we start talking about safety, it's tables turn. It's all about all is good, we manage within the streets, we are all neighbors. That's how conversations always start. It's only somebody taking a little step forward and saying, yes, all is good, but this also happens, and that's when the stories start coming out. So I think these are these are conversations that you can only have as a second layer to your, after you've had, when communities, especially women, are able to bond, are able to develop a sense of friendship or trust with facilitators, that these kinds of conversations are possible.
मेरा नाम दीपक जोशी है। मैं जन्य कलेक्टिव में काम करता हूँ और हमारी जो फील्ड है त्रिलोकपुरी और ओखला है। इन दोनों जगह मैंने काम मतलब औरतों से मिलना, यूथ लड़कों से मिलना, उनसे पूछना मतलब कॉलोनी में क्या क्या परेशानियाँ हैं। और जब हम शुरू में जाते हैं पहले हम उनसे बातचीत करते हैं, लड़कों से मिलता हूँ मैं, आदमी से मिलता हूँ, उनकी प्रॉब्लम पूछते हैं। यूथ ग्रुप ही होता है, उसमें हम 8-9 या 10-15 मतलब स्टूडेंट जोड़ते हैं, यंग लड़के। तो जैसे वो चाहते हैं हमारे मतलब मोहल्ले में साफ़ सफाई हो, नाला ना भरे, तो उनको हम मतलब एक यूथ ग्रुप बनाते हैं। तो उनको हम बताते हैं जैसे गाड़ी नहीं आती तो कंप्लेन करिए आप, अवेयरनेस उन पे अवेयरनेस दिलाते हैं उनको। यूथ ग्रुप होने से काफ़ी फ़ायदा होता है, क्योंकि यूथ बच्चे क्या होता है अपने घर में भी बताते हैं, मतलब एकदम बाहर कूड़ा ना फैलाएं, ये ना करें। और यूथ ग्रुप में क्या है, उनको पढ़े लिखे होते हैं, उनको पता है हमें कहाँ कंप्लेन करनी है, कहाँ नहीं करनी, कैसे करनी है।
मेरा नाम कमला शर्मा है। मैं जन्या एनजीओ में काम करती हूँ। जी ग्रुप होता है, महिलाओं का समूह बनाते हैं। महिलाओं का एक समूह बनता है जिसमें सशक्त महिला समूह होता है, जो महिलाओं को सशक्त बनाया जाता है। एक तो हम उनके स्वास्थ्य के बारे में, वो अपने स्वास्थ्य पर ध्यान नहीं दे सकती, तो उनके पास पैसे भी नहीं होते, तो हमने एक ऐसा ग्रुप बनाया जिससे कि उनके स्वास्थ्य, वो अगर थोड़ी थोड़ी करके एसएचजी ग्रुप में जुड़ें, वो थोड़ी थोड़ी करके पैसे अपने पास जमा करें, तो उससे वो अपने स्वास्थ्य के बारे में सोचे अगर उनके पास पैसे होंगे तो हमने उनसे ऐसे ही सारे ग्रुप में एक एक करके बात करी, डोर टू डोर जाके महिलाओं से, कि भाई उनकी बात सुनी। उन्होंने कहा, हमने कहा तुम इतनी तबीयत तुम्हारी ख़राब रहती है। उन्होंने एक किस्सा सुनाया हमें, ये कोविड के टाइम पे। उन्होंने कहा मेरी लड़की गुजर गई कोविड के टाइम पे, हमारे पास पैसा नहीं था। तो फिर हमने ये बताया उनको कि ये एक एसएचजी ग्रुप है जो महिलाओं के लिए, महिलाएं अगर इसमें 10-15 महिलाएं 200-200 रुपये के करके इकट्ठा करेंगी तो एक समूह बन जाएगा, जिससे कि आप लोग एक दूसरे की मदद से इससे अपना काम निकाल सकती हो।
मेरा नाम है मंजू प्रीति और मैं जनिया में काम करती हूँ। एक महिला थी, ममता नाम था उनका। तो वो हम बार बार वहाँ जाते थे, ग्रुप में भी आती थी, हम बैठते थे इस तरह से उनके साथ रोज़। मतलब वो अपने बारे में हमको बता नहीं पाती थी। तो ऐसे ही हमने उनको ये बोला कि क्या कहते हैं ममता जी, आप ऐसे सुस्त सुस्त से रहते हो, आप अपने बारे में बताते क्यों नहीं हो, क्या मतलब दिक्कत है आपको, समस्या है, क्या बात है। तो उन्होंने कहा मैडम मैं बताती इसलिए नहीं हूँ क्योंकि मैं अगर आपकी मीटिंग में आती हूँ तो आप भी कहोगे आप दूर जाओ, तुम मेरे पास मत बैठो, मुझे ऐसी बीमारी है। तो मैंने कहा ऐसी कौन सी बीमारी है? उन्होंने कहा मुझे टीबी है। तो इसलिए मैं किसी को नहीं बताती अपने मोहल्ले पड़ोस में, और ये टीबी के वजह से मैं किसी के मतलब लोग परहेज करना शुरू कर देते हैं कि ये टीबी है तो ये नहीं आएगी। तो उन्होंने कहा जो हमारे पीछे नाला है, हो सकता है क्योंकि जब वो गंदगी होती है तो उससे पॉल्यूशन फैलता, हवा आती है तो गंदी हवा आती है, उसके वजह से भी हम रोज़, जैसे सिर दर्द होता था, चक्कर आते थे, घुटनों में दर्द, ताकत सी नहीं रहती थी हाथ पैरों में। तो धीरे 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 करके मेरा शरीर पहले डाउन होते रहा। जब मैं डॉक्टर के पास गई तो उन्होंने मेरा चेक कराया, ग्रुप ये ब्लड चेक कराया, तो उसमें मेरे को टीबी निकल गई। और वो मेरे लिए इतना बड़ा हादसा था कि मतलब सुन के ऐसा हो गया कि मेरे को मतलब ऐसी बीमारी हो गई, अब लोग मुझे अपने पास नहीं बुलाएंगे और नहीं मेरे को अपने साथ ऐसे हर चीज़ में मेरे को शामिल करेंगे ग्रुप में। तो हमने कहा ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, मास्क लगाओ, परहेज करो, दवाई डेली खाओ, जो ये खुराक है जैसे अंडा है, मीट है, मछली है, ये सब लो आप। तो इस तरह से उसने कहा कि मैंने तो कोर्स छोड़ दिया। फिर हमने उसको बताया तो उसने दोबारा फिर चालू किया कोर्स। तो कह रही आज मैं जो जिंदा हूँ तो तुम लोगों की वजह से।
And I am one of the partners in Janya Collective. So one of my key role is to make plans and strategies to implement these projects. I also look at the data. I also look at documenting all these stories and all. So as the field team brings out these stories, so my role is to sort of synthesize everything, all the information into something that we can then offer to the donors and like we have the partner as Newcastle, so I sort of report to Newcastle on this project. As a person who is coming from a middle and upper middle class in sort of bracket, when you go and see these case studies and see how and what sort of struggle that these especially women have sort of seen, it sort of makes you really think about the privileges that we have got. The idea is not just to document these, but to also share these case studies to everyone. And even if we are able to sort of influence or provide some kind of motivation to sort of different women and people from these groups, that would be a good success in my opinion.
And you're asking about the virtues of a project like Informal. I think that could be a laundry list of things. It enables better decision making for all kinds of people. For example, in this Empower project, we are looking at several things. One of the things is we are looking at how people are enterprising in solving their problems, right? Those are people who are making a decision for themselves, right? To be owners of businesses or economic activities. They take risk, they weigh costs and benefits, and I think this is the best thing to do. And how they go about doing that is again regulated and constricted or enabled by decisions made by the policymakers, right? So all of these people will benefit if we bring more clarity about what are the things that are making it possible for people to come out of poverty, to be more enterprising, and what are the things that are challenges, both challenges and what are the things that are enabled. Then, we're all able to help people, including ourselves, lead better lives.
Hello, I'm Professor Pauline Dixon. I'm a Professor for International Development and Education here at Newcastle University, and I'm also the PI on the Rising Tide project. As a project, it's been one of the most effective that I've ever done, that I've ever been a PI on or a co-I. And I think it's been effective because we've worked with the communities themselves, we've worked with our in-country partners, and we've had a fantastic team here at Newcastle. I think what's been really successful is working at the grassroots. It's working with people within the communities themselves, providing them a voice and co-creating the whole project really with people from different communities in Delhi. Because we've been gathering gold standard empirical research, we're hoping that the impact will go not only back to the communities themselves, but to governments, to policymakers, to urban planners. So our impact will be through journal articles, through academic journal articles, but also visiting policymakers in Delhi itself, but also some policymakers here in the UK, some NGOs, and again, allowing other academics to think about how they could take the research further and how that could have an impact in different countries as well as in India itself. It's about looking at communities and what they're doing for themselves. It's thinking about what works in a community, what helps their well-being, how place and space really influences how people behave, their quality of life, their meaning of life, about becoming an entrepreneur. It's thinking about the barriers and enablers to entrepreneurship, especially for women.
I think the highlight of my own work on the current project is actually getting a better sense of how the different people live within the settlements. My work largely relates to describing the environment around which people live. But I think we delved more deeply and developed a better understanding for ourselves of what people actually do. And I've got a very positive impression of almost everybody, in the sense that everybody's pretty smart and everybody pretty well adapts and does the best they can. And I think one of the things that you can tell from the work we did here is that that's exactly how the people live in the settlements, is that they're doing the most sensible things they can do, given the circumstances under which they live. And I think this trip reinforced that belief in me and maybe made it stronger, that if we give people a chance, then people will do the right thing, and actually they pull themselves out of their own circumstances. And I think that's what we can do from this work.
Hello, my name is Kathleen Fincham, and I have been a co-investigator on the Empower project. I conducted fieldwork in the 3 settlements of Sanjay Colony, Ajit Vihar and Balswa in November 2022. A highlight for me of this fieldwork was the opportunity to meet the courageous women who living in these settlements who navigate sometimes very challenging life circumstances with dignity and resilience.
My name is Myra Geeson, and I'm a research associate on the Empower project. I tried to tease out what the issues are from a personal people view, and I was very fortunate to have people tell me quite quickly what people were saying. So that personal engagement was very important to me. Working in communities is really rewarding in that you have that first person experience. I think taking our results back to the communities, because I could see a great desire to understand what we were doing and understanding how they could how they could get the tools to make a difference. And we found that people who had access to education were doing a little bit more in terms of boiling water and washing their hands and doing as much as they could.
Hello, I'm Karen Ross. I'm Professor of Gender and Media at Newcastle University. My role in the project is to produce a series of short films based on the fieldwork, where I was interviewing women entrepreneurs about their micro businesses, including the challenges they face, how they coped with during COVID, and more generally, how they survive in environments in which many of us, including myself, can scarcely comprehend even as we witness it. I'm in awe of their resilience, their humour, their support for their families, and the efforts they go to ensure that their children have the opportunities for a better life, which they have never had. While some of the women's businesses we encountered were similar across all 3 locations and could be largely seen as gendered, such as beauty treatments and handicrafts, others were more unusual, such as keeping livestock and recycling. What was also surprising were those particularly enterprising women who were not only subcontracting work out to others in their community, but had negotiated contracts with external organisations. And this brings us back full circle to empowerment. Women can be as entrepreneurial as they like, can perfect their craft and selling skills, can spread the love around to other community members. But if they are forever looking over their shoulder, inside or outside, then their capacity for real independence is necessarily compromised. I was overwhelmed by the generosity of the women who agreed to be interviewed or participated in the workshop or talked to us at the bus stop or on the metro platform. There was absolutely nothing in it for them, no side hustle, which would give them anything other than the opportunity to tell their truth. My hope for this project is that their testimonies will fall on the ears of people who will both listen and act.
Hi, I am Priyanshi and my role in this project is interviewing women and filmmaking. It has been incredible to have this opportunity to hear stories from women who have the zeal to take on life the way they do every day, day in and day out. I don't think people realize how difficult it is to be in such circumstances and still persevere and just come out the other end. They are so full of hope. All they want is a better future for their children, and the highlight for me was meeting young women there who took us on safety walks, who took us to meet other people at Ajit Vihar, and those women were so full of life. They are ahead of their game. They are very entrepreneurial and enterprising. They want to know what they want to do with their life, and they were just so bright. I felt so hopeful meeting them. And some women were very bright. Some women were very brave with all they wanted to do with their life, and that was very inspiring.